Hello and welcome to UAT Time within the United Countries Special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website, firstuat.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other, but introducing a real Ukraine to the rest of the world.
Ukraine is on the way to change, and the new and fresh blood can make the changes and break the old patterns.
Our guest today is Viktoria Vdovychenko, founder of Institute of Policy and Governance.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. And the first question is, what is this NGO, Institute of Policy and Governance?
This is a special institute, so it provides techniques and frameworks for the innovative and efficient governmental projects. And therefore, it was called as an institute to be an institution. Why policy? Because we care about the social dialogue between and the synergy about business, about civil society, and of course about the governance. We think it's one of the crucial steps because the lack of the political stability provides a lack of sufficient governance and efficient governance in our country.
Yeah. How long have you been involved in all of this?
Oh, we were small. We are just only 4 months old. We can say like that. So but we are still emerging and still efficient institution in our Ukraine.
UAT Time is a good stage for presentation of this.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself. How?
Because you were engaged in those a lot of NGO.
You know, prior to this, what were you involved in?
Starting in my career, now I'm currently a teacher at Kyiv National Economic University, so I'm a lecturer also, and also been a former civil servant. And the thing is that I've also alumni of different projects, for example, Professional Fellows Project with the US sponsored, while being still a civil servant in 2011 till 2012, I was sponsored and I was awarded a grant to go to the Senate of Connecticut State in order to practice, to have an internship there, to see what are the best practices there and to come back to Ukraine and try to implement them. As a result, you see, it's only in 2015 it became possible.
Well, yes. I wonder how possible and what practices could be implemented, and what do you feel, at least, and it doesn't matter how long will it take, but at least if it's ever possible to implement anything?
As I was already telling, we are having a lack of supply for the political stability, unfortunately, in our country. So therefore, we established this NGO in order to provide, kind of the platform for the civil society and for business people to interact between themselves. What we are doing is we are presenting our new project that was less than 2 months represented in Ukraine, in order to have the opportunity for business to see what are the social practices emerging in Ukraine from civil activists, from diplomats, might be, from young activists and stuff like that. And I'm very proud to say that it's the only project that was awarded by the expert committee of the Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund. Again, that was launched just 2 years ago, and this year the award goes to me from Europe projects, from all around, not only Ukrainian, but all of the European projects. We are the only one, and I must say we are a political organization and we are volunteer organization. That makes us even more.
Okay. So you've got how many volunteers?
We have 9 volunteers. I don't know why it happens so, but all 9 ladies inside our institution.
You mentioned that, and I was girl power.
Women empowerment, we can say. We have the best practices. I think the ladies in Ukraine also have to represent the best empowerment practices.
Yeah, but hopefully not all 100%.
No.
Well, at least
we are
some.
doing it. We are striking for it, at least. So something we care about. And as I told you, it's a volunteer initiative. So we have all of us of different backgrounds. Some of us are working as analysts in the think tank. Some of us are going as teachers like me and some others of my colleagues. Some of them are still students in the bachelor and master programs enrollment. And some of them are coming from the diplomacy and the politics as a science being appropriate.
Where did you meet Viktoria in the institution? Where you?
I met Viktoria, I think 1 or 2 years ago. That was for during conferences.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, some of the
Okay.
conferences.
Yes, with Kiev School of Economics.
Kiev School of Economics,
Yeah.
absolutely correct. Yes.
We were in the same round table.
Oh, I
Voilà.
see.
And
I
then
see.
we also met in my institution, which is my
Yes,
professional
in the Academy of
background, in
Diplomacy.
Kiev, Diplomatic Academy of Ukraine, and also Kiev National Economic University, and we were having a kind of round tables also there. So something that I've seen Olivier very often there.
All right, because I thought you might have been involved in the School of Good Governance Advocacy. What is this?
The School of Good Governance Advocacy is a kind of initiative, project of so-called 4-level. So the first level, what we were doing in order to represent what is advocacy at all as a concept, because it's a new word for Ukrainian civil society. It's not a new word for European or American society itself. And sometimes the people are confusing advocacy with the lobbyism. So therefore, we wanted to frame our society with something that is challenging and emerging and already existing in other countries, but still these practices should be into ears of our colleagues from the civil society and business itself. So what to expect from the advocacy? Advocacy is a kind of empowerment of civil society, first of all, and to tackle so-called civil challenges in the society by lawful means, of course. In this respect, the lobbyism is a professional authority institution or professional authority which are sponsored by the organization, so there might be the stakeholders, but normally it's the business holders themselves, and they want to make it law practices what are beneficial for themselves. So the main difference between these two terms, that the advocacy is for the civil society and for the society in total. So these are starting from the local initiatives till regional and till national initiatives. So it's something we care about.
So how do you see the application of this in this situation of our society? Because it seems like we're still, what can I say? We're on the first level of growth of our society. To me, advocacy looks like it's more advanced level. Thank you. So, is there a possibility in the near future to have this in place?
Before answering to your question, maybe I will follow with the kind of the steps of the school itself, and I think I will answer your question.
All right, I'll look forward.
Yes. So the first step, what we were thinking about, is to answer the questions what you were just raising me 2 minutes ago. So what is advocacy and why does it exist? So what makes it important, and why it's such an issue that should be known by the Ukrainians. So we launched an online lectorium, which was open for everyone. Everyone was going to the YouTube channel. We have our YouTube channel also. Everyone is going to our Facebook group or Facebook page, or just visiting our website and seeing the lectures from the eminent partners who we involved into. And here we involved Denis Bazilevich, the director of the Institute for Professional Lobbyism and Advocacy. He was talking about the principles of the advocacy mechanisms. Then we involved Andriy Skipalsky, who's a very famous advocacy leader, and he just recently received an award in New York from Bloomberg Award team for the anti-tobacco campaigns in Ukraine. So something that we are not smoking in the public places, thanks to the Andriy Skipalsky efforts, we can say. Then we evolved the theoretical background as well, and here comes Igor Kolyushko from Center of Policy and Lawful Reforms. He was providing a theoretical background more of what is efficient and effective governance, because some of us are laughing that what is good in some other societies is not efficient in Ukraine. So we can say we were taking Ukrainian experts into the Ukrainian project in order to see how these theoretical frameworks are approachable or applicable to the realities what Ukraine is living in. And finally we came to Alexander Demenchuk, which is a professor, he's a politologist himself, and he was presenting his own vision as a theoretical background take into consideration some political sciences concept. So this was the first level if we talk about this first step of our school.
Right.
Then when we open it for public and everyone could see and watch it and follow it, meanwhile we opened a call for our school, and we said that one of the prerequisites to apply for us, if you are interested in the advocacy ideas, please write to us, what is your advocacy idea? So what do you think is burning issue in your community, in your society, in your region? Maybe something that you like to follow on to the local authorities as well.
And what is it? What do they
What do they present?
Yeah.
Just some examples.
Yes, we had, I'm very proud of, we had a variety of issues. Firstly, it's eco projects, ecological project, because I think the biosphere and the synergy with the nature is something that Ukraine should tackle on. It's a world challenge, we know that, and I think it's a very nice initiative. What I like fantastically as a teacher is a project of innovative libraries, or e-libraries, so-called. It's one of the projects from, by the way, we invited 17 representatives of the region, so we made it, all Ukrainians, so not only to Kiev. And so it's one of the projects that was followed very much also by our business angels, business partners who were involved, who were listening to this project as well. Then we applied to the gender equality projects, so something that we had some of the projects that we united from Kirovograd and from Odessa representatives that wanted to follow these issues. Then we invite to e-governance projects, which I'm very proud of. Some of the initiatives are from Kharkiv, some of the initiatives are from Chernivtsi, from the ex-Donetsk University representatives. So I think it's very crucial that we also met them all together in Kiev and we united and we could follow that there is the streamline that we wanted to follow them, and we showed to Ukrainian counterparts and to them as a participants that they have a common vision of how Ukraine should be rebuilt.
But in this way, I understand lobbying and the difference between lobbying and advocacy, but because you will have to face corruption, That's the first. For me, this is most important. To defend your interests, you will have to face corruption. How you deal with that in your conference? How you explain we can avoid, we can fight against corruption? Because this is the first problem in Ukraine for civil society, for politics, and for economy.
For sure. This is my personal vision. It's something that I can say that in order to fight corruption, you have to have a critical mass of those who understand that corruption is a negative and challenging issue. And therefore, it's something that's why I personally wanted to launch this project, because I do believe that the educational system in Ukraine should be challenged, should be changed somehow. So this is more about the enlightening project, also about the corruption activities that they were talking about with our master trainers when they were coming to Kiev from different regions, in order to present their realities that in their regions they have. They also had the projects about the petitions, how to do that effectively, that the local authority may have heard them, that it's not only the petition on paper or it's, just you go out and shout something. It's not efficient. It's not about the advocacy. It's about the populistic ideas, for sure. So we were also, kind of instructing what might be efficient for them and how to do that and how to reach them. So in order to answer your question about how to fight corruption in Ukraine, I would be very much is that you have to prepare critical people with a change in mindset.
Well, how do you prepare them? You see, like, basically, a person with values will less likely to fall under corruption.
What are his values? That's the point.
Yes.
What we are talking about and whom do we call values and what are these values in the mindsets of different people? So something that we wanted to show are the best practices in Ukraine that are realistically accepting, like Andriy Skipalski's project.
Okay. How do you make the people, how do you transmit the values into the people? How do you transfer the values, share the values with the people, and what values? Like, it's like this, If I traveled, I've traveled quite a bit, and I've learned a lot by traveling. When I came back, I know that, the behavior on the road, I've got values from some other civilized countries that you need to, let people go.
And you're not
and
paying
stuff like
petty
that.
cash corruption, yes,
Exactly.
for that.
Exactly, yes.
That's how the practices that we wanted to show.
But that was my first personal experience in the West, in traveling and seeing that it exists. It's possible to live a normal life like that without, being rude on the road. Well, but then if I was just taught that, I don't think I would have picked those values. If I, just through the teaching, if I had
you have to live. You have
that.
to live those values. You have to integrate those values. Yeah.
What we had, maybe I will have to explain it, that actually we didn't have such problems. I mean, with like teaching why it's important to fight with the corruption, because from 156 applicants, we've chosen only 30.
Okay.
And we were doing the Skype calls with 86 of them. So the people who were coming to Kiev, they were already there. They knew that civil society should be enrolled into, and the voice of the civil society should be heard. Okay. So that's the issue. Answering to your question, especially about the petty cash, corruption, so-called, it's more that we have to talk and to teach in the universities. What I'm seeing inside the institutions, not the NGOs. The NGO sector do understand it very much okay with that, and it perceives, like you call it, European values. So one of them is about the political freedom and about the democracy itself. So what I think is that we have to make it possible that our voice is being heard in universities, in different universities.
But are you doing some lectures in university or around Ukraine
I'm doing the lectures only in Kyiv for a moment, and just as I wanted to say, it's my future vision, what we're going to do as the next projects in our institution, because we just, as I told you, we're just 4 months old, and in order to make this project possible,
I can say you have a market in Ukraine. I am invited in Ukraine. I did conference in Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Uzhgorod, Ivano-Frankivsk. I will go to Zhytomyr next week. In a lot of university, they want to invite person to talk about European values, to talk about new values, how to face corruption.
Olivier, you're absolutely right. Only to talk.
You have a demand for that.
Only to talk, but not to show why it's important. There are a lot of the challenges in Ukraine when we are talking too much, but we are not implementing the best practices.
Yes, but if you talk with the young generation, with the students, that's the first step to implement.
Well, to me, it's like this. It's quite a trendy thing right now, to invite and talk about, to report. We've done a European value seminar
conference
on stuff like that.
I did a lot of them.
And we had Olivier Vedrine as a speaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
And they can, and he didn't cost anything, so it was good to invite him.
Yes, because it's for free.
Well, yes. What I'm saying is, but how can we do, or how can we influence to have it systematic and even start even earlier than universities, high schools.
Yeah, right.
Because that's where the values, because we know children, as they grow up, they pick values from their parents.
For sure, from family.
We can't do anything about that. But as they become adolescents, teenagers, they start picking values from society, from friends.
Sergey, you're absolutely right. It's something that, as I told you just 2 days ago, I was meeting Evan Ryan, as a special assistant to the Secretary of State of the United States. She's dealing with the issues of education and science. And after the meeting with Inna Sovsun, from the Ministry of Education, she collected the best alumni from the US-sponsored programs in Ukraine, and I was telling the same issues. So firstly, that I was pointing, and that was kind of, I had 3 messages to her, is to take care not only about the FLEX program as an exchange program, but also to take some of the best practices to implement here, that the high schools are taking care about their future generations. Because the system of the education that existed that my parents are having, even I had, it's okay, but it was okay how many? 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We don't have to deny this. It was fantastic system, but now we are living in a new world, in the new epoch. So we have also to have a new kind of type of the system to address these challenges the young people and young children are having. And the second message I was telling to her, it's to increase the master programs also. I don't know, she asked me why not bachelor programs, but only master. I still believe that the high institutions and the university level, we have to have it in Ukraine, because if they go abroad from the very beginning of the university, they will go and never be back to Ukraine. And we should take care not to the brain drain of Ukrainians. We should keep our Ukrainians in our country. And the third message, I was telling her about the apprenticeship, the institution, how call it, the business apprenticeship, how it exists in Switzerland, for example. It's very common in Germany, for example, in Sweden, for example. So, but the business care about who are their future workers, and it's, of course, it's a best practice in the United States. So I was giving her this message that the apprenticeship should be supported also by the American institutions and maybe American companies who are coming to Ukraine and represented here.
Well, the latest tendencies, I know that some MBAs come to Ukraine, right?
Yes.
So sometimes it's even it becomes more available to the people who really want to have a Western type
of education and mindset, of course,
and without going for a long time far away, and that's a good you know, a good pattern. But you know, at this point, we still need to keep an eye on the Ministry of Education reforms. All the things that are, sometimes it looks like it takes so long.
They have a huge work,
and it takes long, for sure.
No, they have a huge work.
Because there are still talks in the Ministry of the Education what kind of the new system should be taken into consideration, why it should be, and each and every year it changes. There is no stability also in the education system, unfortunately. This is I think it's the biggest challenge, apart from the economic challenges that Ukraine is having, facing.
If there are basic issues that have not been solved, you know, we can't talk about the advanced issues for the high schools, you know, because I mean, most of the high schools in the villages and rural areas don't have computers, or if they have them, they are like, you know, with Windows 95. Yes, I mean, with the floppy disks.
Whoa.
You know, so
it is really, it is really in the small villages and small, let's call it cities, that if we talk about that. So this is something that we also have to take care about.
So it's so basic that sometimes when you talk about advanced issues with those people, they kind of like look at you as an alien, you know. It's like, what are you dreaming about? What kind of, you know, advocacy, or what kind of European values we want? We don't know what the laptop is, you know. So we need to invite the next time, or one of the next times, some of the educational officers from the ministry, and see how things are going. And
what I was telling to Vedrine as well, how to make, because she was also asking me how to make the project sustainable, so how to make them address to Ukrainian people, how they can hear these projects. And I said this is about our step number 3, actually, that the people are from these master trainings that we had in the School of Good Governance Advocacy. Yes, they were coming to Kyiv from different regions, and then now it's their task to be back and to implement it. And we are helping them, we are streaming them, we're gonna organize the business meetings with some of the business angels who are taking care of these special projects that you were asking me about, like eco initiatives or e-governance initiatives. There are different people, partners who take care about that. And I think this is essential. This is how to make the civil society and the business to work together and to see that they are efficient. So the business will take care about not only in the environment, government or the kindergartens, it's normally the tax authorities are asking them to do, but they are streaming their funds into the proper direction, and they know that their children will have a better future. This is what we call perspective governance, to make the power, the governance as a partner, and a partner who delivers appropriate services.
Okay.
This is something we have to talk about.
Time is up.
Okay.
But one of my last, I think the last question I have for you is, do you bring your initiatives up to the higher level, to the parliament? Maybe some of the initiatives could become a basis for the new
law.
New
law.
Yes, new laws.
I'm very, unfortunately, I will have to talk. Mustafa Nayyem's Hannah Hopko really know about that, and we are very proud of them, that this is something that the voice of them being heard. Some of our participants from the first School of Good Governance, they were taking they are representing the NGO Patients of Ukraine, and just 1 week ago they are making advocacy campaign already near the Ministry of Healthcare about fragile people. They call it crystal people. Maybe you've seen the interview in 1+1 channel, is that these children that are born without a special material in their bones, so it makes it very fragile, their bones. So they were making, and these kind of diseases, sorry, I'm not medical expert on that, is not under the government support. So this is something, you know, it's this is one of the initiatives that we followed, and I'm proud that these people represented it into the high authorities.
Well, so I can see that this is the way civil society is being born. Really,
man, but what I see, that will take time.
It takes time, but it's got a good start. I think.
Good start. Yeah.
And so, thank you very much for coming. Usually, when we have good guests, time flies. So
that's very good.
All right. It was United Country UAT time by First Ukraine. Our guest was Viktoria Vdovychenko, founder of Institute of Policy and Governance.
Olivier Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we will show to you the Velichanskiy.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.